Hello everyone, this is Prakhar and this is my first tutorial on AngularJS. Later on I will be covering more of the tutorials also. So let's see what is this course all about or what is this tutorial all about. So we gonna basically develop a Angular application like a basic Angular application. So I am gonna show you what are the things which are required for development of a basic Angular application. So let's make a list out first, like what are the things required. Uh, we do need a IDE, not exactly an IDE, but you can have a text editor, maybe Sublime or Notepad++, or even if you don't have Notepad++, you can work on Notepad. What else we need? We need a web server for execution. This one is not compulsory, but yeah, of course, if you will be having some kind of a web server like let it be like LAMP or XAMPP, any kind of a web server for execution, then it will be very much useful for you or beneficial for you to execute the Angular codes. What else do we need? We for this particular tutorial only we need internet connection, and internet connection is required, and we should be having at least a browser, let's say like Chrome browser or any other browser on which we can actually test our Angular files. Okay, so let's start the basic thing. Let me first show you the Angular URL or Angular homepage, like how does it look like. So if you are going to open like Chrome and going to search for AngularJS, let's say like I am searching for AngularJS. So if you search for AngularJS in Google and you click on the first link, so it will actually take up to the Angular official website where you can see like there are options for you to download the AngularJS library. AngularJS library is basically a product by Google. I hope most of you are aware of it. So actually these days like two versions of Angular are available in the market, like AngularJS 1 and AngularJS 2. AngularJS 2 is quite complex, yeah, but very much easy in the sense of like executing more of the codes in lesser span of time or writing more of the codes in lesser span of time. It has got a lot of features. So for those of the features or special features for which you need to develop a kind of application which you need to extend actually, you should opt for AngularJS 2. But our target for this particular tutorial is AngularJS 1. So let's click on this AngularJS 1 and we will get a HTML model here which will be showing all of the options for downloading it. It is showing like a branch, like which version you want to download, like a stable version, legacy version. Also, like you want to download a zip file, an uncompressed normal file or minified JS file, and you will be getting a CDN link over here. So through the CDN link, you can actually include the AngularJS library. So what I can do, I can just copy it so that I can use this thing in my AngularJS file. Okay. So let's do one thing, like let's start our web server first. So I do have XAMPP installed in my machine. Well, actually this thing is not very much required, but you can have it if you want. It will save you time and it will show you a proper execution of the code. Just for sake of things, suppose if you want to make some service request or some kind of request where you need to fetch the data from some server. So that is why we developers usually prefer executing our codes in a server. So yeah, here my Apache server and my MySQL server has been started. So let me just have a quick check here on Chrome, like whether my server has been started or not. So what I give here, like local host, okay, yeah, fine. So finally I can see like localhost XAMPP for Windows is coming. That means my server is up. So let's do one thing, like in my computer, let's say create a directory for XAMPP htdocs. Let me create like Angular tutorial. Okay, so I do have a directory called Angular tutorial. So I just try this one, like Angular tutorial over here. Yeah, I can see the directory coming over here. So I can actually test developing a HTML file, whether this thing is working properly or not. So I develop a index.html file, do kind of editing using the Sublime. What I do, I write simple basic HTML codes like HTML head head. Let's say like title. Let it be like Angular tutorial. Okay, and it should have a body. Hello world. Let's go back to our browser and try to refresh this one. Yeah, hello world is coming. So that means our web server is up and each and everything is working fine. So what we can do, we can actually try to develop a kind of Angular application. So for that, what we need to do, first of all, like if you are being a developer, you must be aware of this developer console. So this developer console actually helps you a lot, testing and debugging few of the developer kind of things. So what I can do, I can go back over here in the codes and I can include this Angular library. So how can I do that? Like script type equal to text and JavaScript. Okay, and I should include the script over here. So you can actually give your source of the script. We have this thing copied over here. So we actually give those source as this one. Let me zoom it out so that it can be readable for those people who are viewing it. Okay, so my Angular library has been included. So I will just give a random check like whether this thing has been included or not. So if you could see over here, like in our network, you could see like my Angular library has been loaded. So that means like including of this library file is a success. So let's go back to the Angular navigation, like how can we do those things. There are few of the directives for Angular which we need to include in our page. So basically what happens, like those of the codes which we write for Angular, Angular actually binds those codes with the HTML provided in the page. So what we do write in HTML, that is actually binded to the Angular codes. So how we actually show those things? Let's say, like, as of now, let's write some of the Angular application codes over here only. And how do we do like defining our Angular application? So there is a directive called ng app. This is how we define our Angular application. Let's say we define it as my application. Okay, and here we write our Angular codes, like, let's say, let it be, let's define a variable like var app equal to angular dot module. We pass the module name over here, and this module name actually becomes the name of our application, because this is the first module of Angular application which we are defining over here. And we pass a blank square brackets over here. This blank array, this is a weird syntax, but this is how Angular looks like. It is actually for the dependency injection, for those concepts we are going to deal in our later of tutorials. So this is how we define our basic Angular application. So what we can do, actually go to our browser and see like how this is behaving. Yeah, yes, I have refreshed the page, and if I could see over here, like body ng app, my application, the thing is written over here. And you may also see like this class ng scope has been automatically generated for this body tag. This is how Angular is interpreting those codes. So this is how, like, we define the basic Angular application. So we do have rest other of the things also, like controllers, and rest of the things are remaining. So for catching up those things, let's see you off in next tutorial. Thank you.